to take control of your life. It's time to start living. How can you take control of your life and live the way you've always wanted? The answer lies in essential oils. But what is an essential oil? Far more than just nice scents, essential oils are unique plant extracts that, when carefully grown, harvested, and distilled, have the power to change lives for the better. Through essential oils produced using Young Living's proprietary seed-to-seal process, you can improve your family's physical wellness, purify your home, uplift your spirits, and even achieve financial freedom. Life-changing benefits, all from a tiny drop of oil. Gary Young, the founder of Young Living, wanted the best life possible for himself and his family. His passion led him to essential oils. With Gary leading the charge, modern science has perfected essential oil cultivation, harvesting, distillation, and testing. The result? Healthier, more fulfilling, and more purpose-driven lives around the world. For 20 years, Young Living has been a haven for people seeking a better life through the priceless benefits of essential oils. So how has being a part of Young Living changed people's lives?
For us, these oils represent freedom. We're free from worrying about our kids' health, free from worrying about our finances. Sharing these oils just comes so naturally, and they really resonate with people.
From the very beginning of our day to the very end, essential oils are a huge part of our family's life.
We've been able to quit our day job and focus on our Young Living business. And it doesn't really feel like business. We are helping people.
I am so happy to be able to hang out with my grandkids and hike with them and play with them. And I know a lot of people my age that aren't able to do that kind of thing. And Young Living has given me that opportunity.
Gary Young has such a passion and dedication to Young Living. It's truly inspiring. From farms all over the world to the research and sharing these essential oils, it inspires us to be a part of the business.
Thank you, Gary. And thank you, Young Living.
Young Living is unique for its network of farms and carefully monitored partner farms across the globe. Beginning with a small patch of pristine land in northern Idaho, Gary Young created a special haven where the purest possible botanicals could be grown. Young Living quickly expanded to more U.S. farms, then took our passion for absolute purity and authenticity to farms in South America, France, and Oman. And even after 20 years, we're just getting started. No other essential oil company invests the resources, care, and expertise into its products that Young Living does. As part of the global Young Living movement, you'll love the products and lifestyles so much that you'll want to share them with others. Young Living will not only help you achieve what you want in your life, it will also empower you to change the lives of everyone you care about. Are you ready to take control of your life? Are you ready to start living?
A lot of us have found that because we have shared oils, this company is about wellness, purpose, and abundance. And because we have shared oils with people, this has become, Young Living has started to give us thank you checks back. So if you kind of wonder about, well, what would that look like? We have a guest who is actually at the very top of Young Living, and he's going to come up and talk to you about just introducing you to a little part of that portion. Adam is just coming here out of the goodness of his heart, and I honor him all the more for that.
Let's see. Oh yeah, it's already perfect. I was freshly imported on Thursday evening, and I'll be deported Sunday morning at 6 a.m. Came in here especially for Sonia's event. I had heard how wonderful these things were, and when she asked me to be a speaker, I was quite honored to be able to come and share with so many people. This is actually my full-time occupation. I've been a full-time Young Living distributor for 3 years, actually as of this week. So I don't derive any other income except for helping empower people with their own health and wellness and helping them to share that information with others. And so my goal tonight to share with you is to help you to see a different perspective on what these oils can do for you from multiple areas, including wellness, purpose, and abundance. I think we got a... So there's a great tool if you're at all interested in what Young Living can offer you from an abundance standpoint. There's an awesome educational tool called the 4-Year Career Young Living Edition. I believe they have them here on site, but this is a great intro piece to help inform you on some of the facts and figures of this profession and how it works, especially if you're one of those people who's quite detail-oriented and wants to know a lot about things before you, dip your feet into it. Then this would be a great thing for you to look at. My personal stories, I've actually been a Young Living product user for 15 years. My parents introduced me to the company. My mom is a physiotherapist and acupuncturist. She's been in clinical practice for 33, 34 years. And so she introduced me to oils when I was about 10 years old. And, you can't say about again? When I was about 10 years old. And so I've been raised with Young Living for most of my adult life. Before that, they had, traditional Chinese medicine and other holistic approaches to our health. And she was introduced to Young Living by a medical doctor in Canada who was actually recommending prescribing oils to her patients as a first line of defense. So that really opened her mind to the idea of using a therapeutic grade essential oil to boost her practice and her clients' results. And so I never really saw myself in a position as someone who would share this information with others. I went to school for kinesiology. That's the study of human movement. I went to post-secondary for 2 years and got a diploma in kinesiology, majoring in fitness and health promotion. And then I worked as a personal trainer for 2.5 years. And it was a great, rewarding profession. I loved being a part of changing people's lives for the better, being hands-on with them and helping them acquire greater health and wellness. But I also ran to the fact that I was always spending my time to do that. So the only time I ever made money as a trainer was when I was with a client and I'd make $20, $25 an hour. If I wasn't seeing a client, then I wasn't getting paid. And it was great for a while as a young adult, no children, no family to go home to, but the lifestyle of that began to wear on me even at my young age of 20, 21 years old, and I started realizing this wouldn't be a profession that I would want to take for the next 30, 40 years to retirement. It's what I had invested $60,000 in post-secondary education to acquire, was this job that was earning me $30,000 per year and was taking up 40, 50 hours per week, split shifts, starting work at 6 a.m., getting home at 10 p.m., and not exactly being a good use of my time. And so I realized when I was in my early 20s that time is the only limited commodity. It's the only thing that once you spend, you can't get back. And most people are looking for more time in their life. Everyone's super busy with what they already got going on. They're likely not looking for things to add on to it. But we spend so much of our life pursuing career passions or goals or working a job, and we spend less and less time maybe doing what we actually feel is important to us, whether that's our family, whether that's working in your church, or donating your time, or working missions, or whatever your passion is. We spend more time sacrificing the things that we love and want to do until we retire at 65, hopefully. And so I realized this early on, and that I was on a 40-40-40 plan, work for 40 years, 40 hours a week, and retire on 40% of my income, and that's what was going to take me till I was 60, 65. And I started to question at least the paradigm that I was raised in, the go to school, get a good job, get good grades, and then, have a stable job for my entire life. And I started to see that maybe that wasn't, the business of the 21st century, or what was really, how I wanted to live my life. And so I took this newfound knowledge or realization, and then I was introduced to the idea of Young Living and network marketing. Network marketing, it's a distribution model. It's also known as direct sales, relationship marketing. Most people do this every single day. You'll see here, this is some statistics from the Nelson Global Trust in Advertising survey. And 92% of people trust the recommendations from people they know compared to the lowest amount, text on mobile phones. So what a network marketing company does is they simply take the advertising budget of these lower ranking things like radio, print, newspapers, before movie ads. They take all that marketing budget, which most companies have anywhere from a 40 to 50% marketing budget to procure new orders or new customers. And instead of investing in those potentially older fashioned forms of marketing, they reward their best customers, their best product users, the people who are most passionate about their product, and they take that 40 or so percent and allocate it to a distribution field. So instead of paying for traditional advertising, they like to use word of mouth advertising as a form of distribution instead. And when you start seeing the numbers that they find out through these super scientific surveys, you start saying, okay, maybe that's actually a very smart way to do business. And some examples of how regular companies use this in modern times. I use this example today. There's a lot more people here now. But Apple versus BlackBerry or Android, the people who love Apple products, they're fanatic about their products. And they're not being compensated by Apple for promoting those products. And the people who love Android, they're fanatic as well, and they all battle online in blog forums and social media, but nobody's compensated for those recommendations. We recommend things like movies, hairdressers, unless you're bald. There's some oils that might support hair growth as well. But we're always recommending promoting things to our friends and family, because when something works, and we like and trust the brand, we naturally will recommend that to others. So if this is your first time hearing about Young Living, or maybe hearing about direct sales or network marketing, that's the general premise of how it works. And it's quite a smart business model when you look at the numbers. And to me, from a business perspective, I liked it because when I was training, I was getting paid hourly. So the only way I ever made more income for my life was if I traded more time for that dollar. Whereas in a direct sales company, they simply base your income off of distribution. So if I can build a team with leverage and distribute more product than someone else, then I can then get a higher level of compensation. So in a frustrating job market where I felt bogged down, where I wasn't earning what I felt like I was worth, maybe I felt like I was smarter or better looking than the other trainers, and they still made the same amount I did. But no matter how hard I worked, really the only way I got ahead was if I got a promotion to a management position, which maybe would have given me more money, but probably required more hours. And that's what we're likely looking for, is having more time to spend with our loved ones or in our true passions. So that's how this business works. There's some real key benefits that might not be offered by other traditional professions. It's got an unlimited earning potential. I just touched on that. There's no limit for the company to compensate me for. It's simply based on the value that myself and my team can bring to them, and then they have a compensation plan that will calculate what you earn compared to a simple dollar per hour equation. It's got a low startup cost. Anyone here who gets their $150 enrollment kit, that qualifies you as a wholesale member with the company, but also gives you the option to share that information with others. Again, if you know, like, and trust the product, you'll naturally probably want to share that information with others. And so it automatically gives you a model that you can share off of. And when you start looking at traditional business, you look at a franchise model, whether it's a fast food chain or a clothing store, these models have massive startup costs. I've got a friend in my hometown or the town where I live now, Red Deer, Alberta, and he owns a juice. It's called Jugo Juice. I don't know, do you have Jamba Juice or something? There's some form of a juicing chain. And it cost him a substantial amount of money to even start up that franchise. And his goal after 4 years was just to pay it off, just to break even. And that's not even counting for the 4 years of his time he's invested in. When you're the business owner, when someone calls in sick, you got to go in there. And often that traditional business, sometimes that business ends up owning more of your life and time compared to freeing it up, because you're so invested in that model. You get to choose the people you work with. I found this to be a huge advantage because I didn't always enjoy my coworkers, and I'm sure everyone here will have some sort of scenario in their life. I see some smirking faces where you maybe don't enjoy the company of certain people. Choosing your hours, that's the real kicker for myself and a lot of people is we are able to work when we want to work, when it works best in our schedule. It can be part-time hours to start with. That's how 99% of people start, as they work it around their daily life. And again, when you think that most people are doing this every single day anyway, you can kind of be working while you're working, or if you're at soccer practice with the kids and little Tommy gets a shin splint and you help support that injury with deep relief or peppermint. There might be other parents nearby who might say, hey, what did you just do? That worked really good for your son. Again, you're automatically just incorporating into your lifestyle. It makes it really easy to share within your own type of hours. Being your own boss is a great advantage. I know most people don't like being micromanaged. They don't like having someone looming over them, bossing them around. And so it allows you to be in that opportunity where you can be your own boss, and where you're part of a profession where the only way you actually ever derive more financial benefits is by helping people, compared to, I never really earned more as a trainer by helping my other trainers be a better trainer, if that makes sense. It's a residual and willable business. What I mean by residual is if I look at the amount of time I spent personal training, I did it for about 2.5 years. I invested in a decent amount of my time building that business, that brand, my clients. The second I quit, no matter how much value I ever brought to that company, I still have never got a compensation check beyond my termination date, because that's simply not how the model doesn't work that way. However, with direct sales and network marketing and Young Living, let's say next month I have an accident and I can't go into work or do anything for the entire month because I've assisted the company in collecting more orders and building up a distribution center of sort. They'll still give me a compensation check for that month, even though I might not have gone into work, because it's providing residual volume when people are ordering, their monthly supplements, or they're providing cleaning products for their home. So it provides that residual aspect where you're doing work once now, but it can provide you ongoing benefits. And the willable factor is huge. This really makes us a legacy business, because as a trainer or in any job usually, I worked for 2.5 years. Let's say I died. I'm not leaving anything from that business or the amount of time I spent there. I'm not leaving that for my wife. Whereas if I die, that's a bad example. If let's just put me in a coma. If I just can't do anything and to bring in the bacon or whatever, then I'm still providing an ongoing residual income. This business can be sold like any other traditional business. It can be willed to your family, so you can build up a legacy for your children. It provides you great travel opportunities. Like I'm here from Alberta. I get to fly into Iowa. Awesome travel opportunities. But as a company, woo, first time to Iowa. But as a company, this is a very global company. They shipped over 100 different countries. They've got open offices in Canada, US, Ecuador, Mexico, Singapore, Malaysia, Japan, Australia, United Kingdom, Sweden, Germany. It's a very multinational corporation. So when you're traveling even, I just had the luxury of spending 5 weeks in Europe this summer, and while I was traveling throughout Europe and Belgium and Holland, I was able to actually introduce people to Young Living along the way, which normally would be a vacation. There'd be no way you could ever personal train someone on the side while you're on vacation. But with this business, you can kind of be introducing people to your lifestyle no matter where you go. So it's a real business without borders, and I love that there's no education or background required. For me to be a personal trainer, I had to spend 2 years of my life studying and memorizing all these facts and figures, and it cost me about $60,000. But to get in with Young Living, it didn't require any education or background. In fact, it's almost a better asset for just the average everyday person with no type of background, because it just makes you that much easier to coach and motivate throughout the process. When I look at what Young Living can provide, your startup cost is well under $1,000. You can do this for 2, 3, 4 years, part-time. And you've got all the benefits I talked about earlier, the residual aspect, unlimited earning potential, low startup costs. Once you transfer from university, you usually then move into the job market. So you've now hopefully got your very expensive piece of paper that's gotten you a great job. For that job, you're going to work 40 hours a week for 50 weeks a year for 40 years. That's a total of 80,000 hours. You're doing that full-time, limited growth. You've got a boss, and there's no residual aspect. You work for 25 years and quit, you're not going to get paid for that 25 years of effort you've brought to that brand or company. You look at your Young Living business, let's say you're working at part-time, you're doing this 20 hours a week, that's what most people would consider part-time hours, and you're doing that for 50 weeks a year. You can still take your 2 weeks full vacation, and you do that for 4 to 5 years. That's a cumulative total of 5,000 hours. Meanwhile, you're doing it part-time, you've got all the benefits we talked about earlier on, unlimited growth, no boss, and the residual aspect, meaning if after 2 to 3 years of building it, you feel like, hey, it's not my thing anymore, you can move on and still likely collect a very good, substantial residual income. And so when you look at the comparison, you got 5,000 hours to 80,000 hours. When I talk to people about starting a home-based business, sometimes they're not too keen right away because they don't understand how it works. Some people might think you're crazy or you're, they just don't understand how it functions. But when I look at the job market and what we've likely all been sold at one point in our life to follow, that's a lot of time for not a lot of benefits. I recognize for sure that this is it's a necessary thing to have. There have to be jobs out there. It provides and pays the bills. But when you look at creating time freedom and creating a legacy for your family, it can't provide those things for you because the model is just not built around creating time freedom for you. So if that's what you're looking to acquire, then that's why I think the model that Young Living offers is a very good one to invest in. And one of the basic excuses that I hear initially, or reservations, is, I just don't have enough of that precious commodity. I don't have enough time. And I think that's one of the main reasons why you need to consider this. If you're so busy that you don't have enough time to look into something like that, you're already committing to spend the next 80,000 hours or 70,000 or 60,000 hours towards that. I think you should really look at allocating that other 5,000 hours over the next 5 years. Young Living as a company, we're very product focused. You got to hear all about the oils from Sonia. That's our first and foremost goal, is to get oils in every home in the world. We're a product focused company. First and foremost, we want you to see that we've got an exceptional commitment to quality products, that you can feel comfortable using those products in your home with your family and sharing that information with others. But they also offer a secondary type product, a financial product, where they offer you both immediate income right now that can pay for your product costs if that's your initial goal, maybe earn an extra couple $100 per month, or it can provide you a longer, larger residual income that can maybe allow you to make a career transition if your goals are that big. But what I find is most people in their current job are not fully passionate about where they're at. They don't feel like they're fulfilling their life's work, their life's passion, their reason for being here. And what I love about what Young Living can offer is it can offer everyone's family exceptional health and wellness, but it can also offer them an additional finances that maybe put them in a position to either take a lower paying job in an area where they're super passionate about, or it can allow them to transition out of their job completely, again, to focus on an area they're passionate about, whether it's for charity or for missions, or you just want to travel all the time. Whatever your own personal reasons are, it can free up that time for you. Some of my personal friends, they just both retired from their full-time jobs to do Young Living, and her husband was able to assist as a worship pastor on a volunteer basis for a new church plant when they moved communities. So that's something that they would never have had the finances to be able to do before, but now they're able to follow what they feel like they are meant to do and not have to make those decisions simply based off of a job or finances. But, this is a great, solid company that's obviously been built on strong foundations that are only going one direction but up. And if I were looking for a business or a model to invest in, I think there'd be no better one out there right now than Young Living, especially when you look at, first and foremost, it's a product that you're going to use regardless of if there's an opportunity to earn money, right? If you take away any opportunity of anything I've talked about of the pay plan or compensation, everyone here is still going to use the products. And because of that, that's what makes it a great opportunity to earn additional financial income, because you're not doing it just for that reason. You're doing it because you're providing additional wellness that people would not have otherwise. Part about my story I forgot to mention, I'm 25 years old. I've never filled a prescription in my life. I've never been to a doctor for anything but broken bones and trauma. So I feel like the reason I have that personal testimony is because I believe in good nutrition and filling my body with whole foods and not preserved to last for the next 20 years on a shelf. So I believe in core nutrition. I love exercising and making sure that's an integral part of people's lives. But I also believe that there's a room for high quality nutritional supplements and essential oil infused nutrition and essential oils that can really provide the best environment for your body to be the best version of you. And I'm pretty passionate about helping more and more families experience that type of optimal wellness. And it's just a nice little side effect that I'm able to not have to trade 40 to 50 hours per week getting up early in mornings. When I was in college, I got into doing what college kids do. I hosted too many parties, and you become what you associate with. And again, the college environment, for the most part, probably surrounds yourself with things that you might not want to be surrounded with in the long run. As a young adult, you might think it's cool, but later on, you probably regret things that you did or stuff. And so I had a problem with alcohol as a young youth. Because I didn't feel like I had much of a purpose. And there was times where I would, I used it as an outlet for getting rid of negative energy or lack of self-worth, or, just as something to fill an empty hole in my life. And, I thought something like personal training would fill that, and it was great being part of something like that, but you still have that feeling of lack of worth at times, and the feeling that you don't have that purpose. And I know that when I was in my second year of college, I wasn't in the best place. And I know we've got a wide variety of ages. Some people might have kids who are my age or going through this time right now, or there's younger people in the room. But it wasn't the most positive experience. I'm grateful for it because it's helped me become the person I am right now. But throughout that process, it helped me to see that I did have some sort of value to bring to the world, that I did have a purpose. And even in those times of darkness, I was able to find a light like Young Living that helped me fulfill what I wanted to do. I always dreamed of having a stage and a purpose, and people be able to mention me in their testimonials and be able to inspire people of all generations. And yeah, I just never thought I would ever have this opportunity. I've got a great financial benefit, of course, from sharing Young Living the way I have, but beyond any type of finances, there's something in a purpose-filled mission, a purpose-filled company that you can't buy, you can't pay for, you can't find in many traditional jobs. So yes, Young Living offers a great wellness product, and there's a great abundance that's available for you. But I know that there's also a lot of people out there who, you might have great finances or great wellness, but you've never potentially found that purpose, or you've been searching for something for so long and you don't know what it is, and maybe tonight's that night where this is something you find. And so if that's you, I'd love for you to come tell me after. That's why I'm here, is to be able to pour into people's lives in a way that I maybe didn't have growing up, and that I can hopefully change the way the world works in some small ways. And it's just been a great honor to be here for this weekend, to have all your limited commodity, your time and attention. And no matter what your journey is going onward from here, whether it's to use the product or you're looking at sharing the information with others, I wish you nothing but good and blessings upon your life. And I'm just so glad that you took the time to attend this evening. So thank you so much for having me.